Yeah, greetings everyone. I wish you're doing good. And today we are already June 6th in 2023. So I know that time flies. And today I have come up with the idea of telling you about the major tips that are going to serve you as an ESL teacher, especially for kids and for teenagers. So today I am going to talk about the case of teenagers because you know that they are really specific when it comes to teaching because they're not like adults which are really understanding, and they're not like young learners because you know that they are playful. So teenagers have like a specific behavior, specific psychology, and so on. So throughout my ESL like teaching experience and throughout my studies, so I could learn more about teenagers. So my first experience was with teenagers, and it was really, really outstanding. Like you know that they are so like energetic. They like start behaving like adults, although they are still young, and so on. Especially for um, girls. So I know that it's not likely to be easy to teach teenagers, but I'm going to share with you some tips that are going to serve you as an ESL teacher of teenagers, especially if you are abroad. So I know like for new teachers who are in their first stages of teaching experience, and I know that how it's a little bit difficult for them to start teaching, especially teenagers. So I'm going to like lighten the burden of this step because I know that it's not easy to teach teenager, especially for the first graduates or the newly graduated teachers. So to begin with, I just want to tell you that ESL teaching is full of fun. You know that this industry is one of the amazing experiences and one of the amazing like how can I say experiences that you can ever had or you could ever have. So whether you are using like British English or American English, so I would be like more like I would recommend you to use like an understandable accent because neither American English nor British English are going to serve you and when you're teaching like teenagers because they are not like adults who have more preferences or more specifications about the accent. So it would be preferred if you have used like an understanding or understandable, sorry, accent. So there's another thing to bear in mind that teenagers are energetic, so you need also to be energetic as well as they are, because you know that their energy never ends. You know, okay. So another tip that I would recommend you to bear in mind is that they like talking just like adults, you know, that they start like behaving like adults and they start uh like you know that thinking that they have grown up and they are now ready to be more responsible and more, I don't know how do they think in psychology, but throughout my experience with them they start like behaving just like they are in the high school or they are in at the university. So that's what I could understand from them. So, generally speaking, if you are an ESL teacher of teenagers, so I'd recommend you to be like to behave just like them, to behave just like their friend, because whenever you behave just like a friend of the teenagers, so you are more likely to like get them in your circle and like you're more likely to control them even if you do not know that you are controlling them. So this is called like an indirect control, you know. So I would rather recommend you to be like their friend, for example, whenever they do something good or whenever they come up with a bright idea. So you just give them a high five. You just, for example, like give them some activities and some games at the end of the session in order to like make them into pairs. And it's going to serve you as well because they're going to have the best time ever, especially like from my personal experience, I could learn that they like a teacher who isn't like about like do this and go to the board, like write this on the board, you are punished, and so on. No, 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 no. This is really not going to serve you, and even if it serves you for 2 or 3 times, it's not going to serve you for like the whole of your teaching experience. So I would recommend you to use some techniques, like you are like a friend and you talk about what they are interested in, and also you talk about the things that they like, what you have done during the day, and so on. So like these like simple techniques, but yet they are the best techniques that I could ever like have in my teaching experience, because they are really going to serve you, and they are really going to ease like the teaching technique or the teaching work for you. Because you know that throughout my studies of ESL and EFL, I could learn that teenagers sometimes misbehave, and I don't really like the fact of punishing them and stop being harsh with them. So this is really going to be, or to give you the like the contrary of the results. So I would prefer using like techniques like being their friends and so on, and giving them some plays and some sorry so giving them some games to play, like the crosswords, like find the game or find the word in this game and so on. So these games like really were my best games that I could use, especially in the vocabulary sections, and they could learn as much vocabulary as they could, because you know that learning recently have has become like really daunting, especially for teachers. And you know that time management is one of the like the requirements of an ESL and EFL teacher, or a teacher in general. So you would rather use these games in order to like, I know that sometimes they take time, but you can do these games together with them, and you can even like divide them into groups and so on. So this is like the second tip that I could come up with. And the third tip is that you need also to like you know that give them some housework to do at home, and you need to create a group with them, like a Facebook group or an Instagram group or Microsoft Team or whatever. And you're going also to ease the work. And how can I say, like throughout my teaching experience, I could know, or I could come up with this idea because I have interacted with Japanese night teachers and students, and they have like a group between them, like a Microsoft team, and they start doing the housework, and these houseworks are assigned to, or homeworks are assigned to like 1 or 2 or 3 and or whatever. So these like tips are really going to serve you as a teacher for teenagers. Other tips that you can find on the internet and search for, like they are easy to understand, like being understanding and being like, I don't know, there are some simple tips that I have used them, I'm sorry, but how can I say, they weren't that much like helpful. So I hope this video was like enjoyable, and I hope you're going to use these techniques that I have talked about. And just let me know in the comments whether you are going to use them or whether they have served you if you have already used them. So see you next time.